and I'm in grade 10. Up until a year ago, I assumed I'd only fall for someone when I got to university. But then, everything changed. I met someone, and I really liked him. And, of course, he liked me too. But we're not in a relationship. Well, I'll tell you my complicated love story. His name's Peter, and he's tall and thin. We met in chemistry class and had feelings for each other. But the problem was that at the time, he had a girlfriend already, and they seemed really happy together. Time went on, and then on the last day of middle school, he came up to me and told me he liked me. He said him and his girlfriend had broken up a long time ago. I was so confused. Why was he telling me this? Even though I liked him, I told him I wasn't interested in being his girlfriend. You see, I had my studies to think about. I knew I was going to get into the top class in high school, and he wasn't. Therefore, it wasn't hard to refuse him. I mean, I'd barely see him anyway. A week later, something really bad happened. Not to me, but to Peter. Everyone was talking about it. Peter's class had thrown a party, and when the party ended, him and his ex-girlfriend and a few friends played a game of spin the bottle, and someone filmed them all kissing each other. Then, that person posted it to Facebook, and everyone saw it. His ex-girlfriend cried so much and asked for the video to be deleted. Luckily, it got removed. I was so shocked by what they did. They were all kissing each other. Peter even kissed the other boys, and his ex-girlfriend kissed the other girls. This happened during the summer vacation, and it made me so uncomfortable. Luckily, I didn't have to see Peter, but I didn't understand why he would kiss his ex if he liked me. In the end, I blocked him on Messenger so he couldn't contact me. After that, I didn't talk to him for 2 months until we were back at school. He apologized to me and said him and his ex had drunk too much at that party and that it was all in the past now. I still felt a bit weird about it, but he wouldn't stop apologizing, and after a few days, he even told me he loved me. He started messaging me every day. I told him I wasn't interested in having a relationship in high school and that I'd just disappoint him, but he didn't care. He said that he really wanted to be with me. But there were 2 things stopping me being with him. Firstly, he didn't treat his ex-girlfriend with much respect. And secondly, he didn't care about his studies. He spent way more time playing games than reading books. I just didn't think I could be in a relationship with someone who didn't care about his education the way I did. After about 2 months of chatting, he started to grow on me. He was seriously charming, and he might not be good at school, but he was very good at getting girls to like him. Finally, I told him how I felt about him. He was so happy. But then I burst his bubble. I told him I'd only be his girlfriend on one condition: if he started caring about his studies. As time went on, I started liking him more and more. But then something terrible happened. Another girl came along. And the worst part about it was that she was my enemy. She hated me because I was such a good student and a star at secondary school, while all she cared about was having boyfriends. She found out that Peter and I were into each other, and she thought it would be fun to destroy that. She constantly flirted with him and hugged him, and that drove me crazy. It didn't even make sense. She already had a boyfriend, so why was she trying to steal Peter from me? My 3 closest girlfriends told me that I needed to accept Peter's offer to be his girlfriend, then finally that girl would back off. But I said it wasn't worth it. Plus, I wasn't the jealous type. But then, one day, she kept hanging onto Peter's arm in the schoolyard. He tried to push her away, but she wouldn't give up. I was feeling so uncomfortable watching it, and my friend decided enough was enough. She stormed up to her and said, "Hey you, is he your boyfriend? If not, stop touching him like that. Where's your self-respect?" The girl pulled my friend away, then started shouting at her and said, "Lily is so stupid for liking Peter. In grade 9, he made a bet with his class that he could seduce Lily. Of course, Lily refused, but now look at her. She's smitten, and it's too late. Now Peter is just joking around. He doesn't actually like her." After my friend told me that, I burst into tears. I felt like such a fool. How could Peter treat me like this? I cried a lot, and eventually my friend went to ask Peter if it was true. He was so shocked and said of course it wasn't true and that he truly does love me. So then I asked Peter's classmate, and he said it wasn't true either, and that girl just wanted to ruin our relationship because she was bad news. I then told Peter to stay away from that girl because she was just using him, and she wasn't a nice person at all. He said he'd try, but that it was hard to ignore her. That made me think a lot. Why would Peter not just tell her to go away? I don't know what to do now. I'm not sure if I should just leave Peter and concentrate on my studies 100%, or if I should agree to be Peter's girlfriend and work on our relationship. It's hard because we have such different interests, so I'm not sure if it would even work anyway. Well, either way, I still like him a lot and wish him all the best for his future.